Alright, so Sony is gearing up to drop its next wave of Xperia smartphones, and the rumors are already making waves. This time, we might see the launch of the Xperia 1 Mark 7, Xperia 107, and possibly even a compact model, the Xperia 57. After skipping a generation, Sony could finally be bringing back a compact flagship, which is exciting news for fans of smaller premium phones. But let's focus on the Xperia 57 and Xperia 107 for now, as these mid-range and compact models seem to be getting some solid upgrades. One of the biggest highlights is the camera system. Both the Xperia 57 and Xperia 107 are rumored to feature a dual camera setup with a telephoto lens and Pro 2x optical zoom. While this may not be groundbreaking, it's still a noticeable improvement. The Xperia 54 previously had a dedicated telephoto lens, but the Xperia 55 didn't, so it's good to see Sony bringing that feature back. For those who rely on zoom for photography, this upgrade will be a welcome addition. Another major change is in the display department. The Xperia 107 is expected to finally make the jump to a 120Hz OLED panel, a significant leap from its predecessor's 60Hz refresh rate. This means smoother scrolling, a more fluid user experience, and a snappier feel overall. For mid-range users who have been waiting for a proper high-refresh display, this is definitely a step in the right direction. And if you were worried about Sony sticking to old processors, here's some good news. The Xperia 107 might be getting a new chipset, either Qualcomm Snapdragon 6 Gen 4 or Snapdragon 6 Gen 3. Either way, this would be an improvement over the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 used in previous models. Faster performance, better efficiency, and smoother multitasking could be on the cards for Xperia's 2025 mid-range lineup. With these potential upgrades, Sony seems to be refining its mid-range and compact offerings to keep them competitive. But that's just the beginning. Next, let's talk about what's in store for the Xperia 1 Mark 7. Now, moving on to the flagship model, the Xperia 1 Mark 7. If you were hoping for a massive redesign or a revolutionary change, you might want to temper your expectations. Sony seems to be sticking with a familiar formula, refining rather than reinventing. The 48-megapixel Exmor T sensor for the main camera is likely here to stay, with possible improvements in zoom and ultra-wide capabilities. While rumors surfaced about Sony developing a 200-megapixel sensor, it looks like that upgrade is reserved for a future Xperia model, possibly the Mark 8. On the display front, Sony is expected to keep things consistent. The Full HD Plus resolution will likely remain unchanged, ensuring sharp visuals, but without any drastic enhancements. Where we could see a more notable upgrade is under the hood. The Xperia 1 Mark 7 is almost certain to feature Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, ensuring top-tier performance, better power efficiency, and improved AI-driven features. Sony flagships are known for their smooth software experience, and this chipset should push that even further. But here's a fun twist. Sony might be shaking things up in the color department. Leaks suggest we could see an Xperia 1 Mark 7 in a true blue shade, something Sony has rarely done. The closest they've come was the bluish-purple tone of the first Xperia 1, but if this leak holds true, we might finally see a bold and vibrant blue Xperia hitting the market. It's a small change, but for fans who want something different from the usual black, silver, and gray, this could be an exciting addition. While none of these details are confirmed yet, the Xperia 1 Mark 7 looks like it will refine the flagship experience rather than revolutionize it. But with a powerful chipset, a reliable camera setup, and a potential new color, it could still be a strong contender in 2025. With the flagship covered, let's talk about what these leaks mean for the Xperia lineup as a whole. With all these rumored upgrades, Sony's 2025 Xperia lineup seems to be shaping up as an iterative yet meaningful improvement over previous models. The Xperia 57 marks the possible return of a compact flagship, catering to users who prefer smaller devices without compromising on performance. Meanwhile, the Xperia 107 looks set to deliver a much-needed refresh with a 120Hz OLED display and a more powerful chipset, making it a more competitive mid-range option. On the flagship side, the Xperia 1 Mark May 7th not be a revolutionary leap, but it refines what Sony already does well, offering a high-end camera experience, a powerful chipset, and possibly a fresh new color variant. While some might be disappointed that there are no major overhauls, it's clear that Sony is focused on enhancing performance, refining its camera systems, and keeping the Xperia series relevant in an increasingly competitive market. Of course, as with all leaks, it's important to take this information with a grain of salt. The official announcement is still a few months away, and things could change before Sony makes its final reveal. However, if these leaks hold true, the 2025 Xperia lineup could strike a balance between consistency and meaningful upgrades, ensuring that both mid-range and flagship users have something to look forward to. That wraps up this Xperia scoop. Stay tuned for more updates as we get closer to Sony's official announcement. Let me know in the comments, are you excited about these rumored upgrades, or were you hoping for something more? Catch you next time with more news. Peace.